Hi there folks. In this video we're going to have a look at some Chinese military surplus 7.62x54R ammo. I did an unboxing video of this a little while ago and I'll put a link to that in the description. So this is 20 round packages in the usual brown paper wrapping. Let's open this up and we'll have a look at what's inside and we'll dissect this ammo to see how well it's put together. So as you can see, we've got our full metal jacket steel cased ammo here, paper dividers in between the rounds to keep it from getting damaged while it's being transported and moved around. Alright, overall first impressions of this ammo is that it's very clean, very shiny, very well preserved. Considering that it's over 50 years old, it's amazingly well preserved. So we can have a look here at the head stamp. Very hard to read the head stamps on this stuff because it's printed on this edge. So I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on camera. But if you look really carefully right there, you can see 71. And that's the factory production code for the ammo factory. And then down below at the bottom we have the year of production. So these are Berdan primed, corrosively primed cartridge cases. And these have the .250 inch size Berdan primer. So that of course makes them pretty much unreloadable unless you have access to primers of that size, and being steel case, not much point in trying when you can get brass cased ammo to reload. So for most people this is just ammo you're going to fire and throw the empties away. Full metal jacket bullet of course. Interestingly, going back to the primer there does not appear to be any sealant around the primer. If there is any, it's not colored. Usually they put a colored sealant when they do that to the primer, so once again doesn't look like it's sealed up at all. Although considering how well the ammo has been preserved this far, maybe that was not required. Also no indication of any sealant up around the case neck either. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is pull some of this ammunition apart and we're going to have a look at what's inside and measure the components. Alright, I pulled apart 10 of these rounds with the aid of my inertia bullet puller. And let's have a look at what's inside these. First off, let's have a look at the bullets themselves. So as you can see, these are a boat tail full metal jacket bullet. These are steel jacketed and a magnet will stick to them all the way up to the tip. And they have a steel core as well. And there's a little bit of lead in between the core and the jacket so that the bullet has some give when it goes into the rifling. So a fairly pronounced boat tail there. And we have a crimping cantilever. You can see that there just above the scratches from where the bullet was pulled out originally. These bullets are right in the neighborhood of, let's see, .311, and I've measured a few of them and they're all in that ballpark. There's a few of them that are a little bit out of round and they'll come in at .310 and a half, but for the most part the bearing surface is .311. Fairly long bullet for its weight. Let's see if we can get this to measure. So we're looking at 1.264, I guess that works out to. Anyway, and the important thing, one of the important things about this is the weights. So we weighed 10 of these out. You can see the individual bullet weights there. We had a low weight of 148.6 grains and a high of 149.8. So this gave us an average of 149.1 grains, an extreme spread of 1.2 grains, and a standard deviation of 0.4 of a grain. So not too bad considering this is bulk military surplus ammo. Have a look at some of the bases there. You can see there is some variance between the various bases. Some of them are more squashed than others. This is one of the more important things when it comes to accuracy. The consistency of the bases of the bullets is one of the most important things, actually probably more important than small variations in weight. So you can see there is a bit of variation in the bullet bases. However, once again, this is not match ammunition. This is military surplus ammunition from a communist country from over 50 years ago. So it is what it is. Alright, let's have a look next at the powder charges. So, I don't know how well the light gets down in there, but the powder charges fill these up right to the junction of the neck. Let's have a look at what's inside these. You can see that it is a medium length extruded IMR style of powder. Still looks good, smells fine, there's no deterioration that I can detect. Actually, when I first broke these open, there was actually a little bit of a smell of kind of a camphor sort of a smell, or a ethery sort of thing, which would lead me to believe that there's still a little bit of the solvent from the manufacturer. The gas from that was still trapped inside the cartridge cases, so that shows that they've been sealed up and stored quite well. Once again, we measured 10 of these charges. You can see the various powder charges we got there. The lowest powder charge 46.1 and the highest 46.6. So that gave us a 46.3 grain average extreme spread of half a grain, which is pretty darn good, and a standard deviation of it's about 0.15 of a grain. So powder charges are pretty consistent for bulk manufactured military surplus ammo. Alright, I guess that only leaves us really with one more thing to look at here, and that would be the cartridge case. We already looked at the head stamp, and this is kind of interesting. You look inside the case neck and there's no evidence of any case sealant, so these seem to be completely free of any sort of case sealant. Now that could be looked at from a couple of perspectives. It's probably not ideal for once they're out of the ammo cans, there's a higher probability that moisture could work its way in if these got dropped in the water. However, for us civilian shooters who are going to take this to the range, that's probably not a big deal. You can see this cartridge case has a little bit of discoloration. Some of the other ones were perfect. This one's got a little bit of discoloration. For us civilian shooters, the lack of sealant means that our barrels will be cleaner, because the asphalt that's usually applied inside these to seal the bullet generally comes off when the round is fired, and it smears itself all over the inside of your barrels, which is one reason why surplus ammo has a reputation for being so dirty. It is all that crap from the asphalt being burned onto your barrel. It really doesn't hurt the barrel, it just makes it really dirty and disgusting when you go to clean it. So the lack of it is probably kind of a plus in my opinion. I'm going to get a light there and see if we can give you a look down inside the cartridge case. Alright, with the assistance of a good strong light, hopefully we can see down inside that cartridge case. And you can see there's a bump in the center. That's the kind of the backside of the anvil in the primer pocket. And there are two flash holes there. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but you'll have to take my word if you can't see it. Oh, come on now. Get this lined up properly. Anyway, there are two flash holes down there for the Berdan primers. And as you can sort of see, hopefully, the inside of the cases are still nice and clean and shiny, no deterioration. So once again, these are a steel or iron cartridge case. The magnet sticks to them. These have a copper coating on them, basically for a small amount of corrosion resistance, and it also makes them a little bit more slippery than just the plain steel would be by itself. The bullets also feature that copper wash or copper plating, once again for corrosion resistance and a little bit of extra sort of lubrication, because if you're shooting a steel jacketed bullet in a steel barrel, you would have the potential for some galling there, so the copper would act as a little bit of a slippery layer between the two. Anyway, so that's probably about as much as we can look into for this ammo for a benchtop review, and we'll do another video on this stuff. We'll take it out to the range and we'll give it a try in at least one rifle, maybe two, depending on how ambitious I feel about cleaning barrels when I'm done. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.